Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
I'm just trying to figure out what other church doesn't ask their congregation to help with the needs of the church.
They do, but they get a little thrown off when a $200,000 Lamborghini comes into play and the church need a...
Because sometimes they be driving, like the first lady be driving like a Buick. You know what I'm saying? She don't necessarily...
Oh, she might drive a Benz.
Or a Benz, or sometimes like an older one.
Girl. I think the name Lamborghini has people pretty much thrown off.
No, it's the price.
It's right.
It's the price.
The name. Ooh.
But here's the thing. I bought that car over a year ago. Before I was ever the pastor of that
year
church.
ago, everything was popping, boy.
So good, just a year ago. See how you do
it.
Here's the point. I decided in February during the All-Star game in L.A. that I was going to bless my wife with that. I wasn't pastor of that church. And that church had nothing to do with what I chose to do for my bride. Exactly. And so while people are trying to draw correlations, those correlations don't connect. I understand how people are because people like a certain narrative, but unfortunately it's not the case. I have other business interests, and I did something that I wanted to do for my bride. Books, TV shows, those kinds of things. So I understand why people would try to draw the correlation.
Well, before we got to that church, it was just delivered because it wasn't even in production yet. It was delivered at the time that fits the narrative.
Was it a surprise? Did you know you were getting this car? Or did it just pop up? How'd that happen?
So as we shared on the reel, we have a common interest and we love vehicles and we always have.
Yeah.
But at the All-Star, it was a prototype in the lobby when John went to do a faith-based inspirational talk for the NBA players. We saw it and we went and we built one in the lounge, and it was like, yeah, right, this probably won't ever happen. They talked about it being delivered like at the end of the year. I, from there, didn't know if it would happen or not, but he knew that he had,
the resources.
Secured the funds and
well, I was still walking on faith. It ain't like I was sitting up on stacks, but God opened up the door throughout the year for me to do what it is I wanted to do for my wife.
Right.
See, my thing is, I don't begrudge anybody doing something for their bride or for their spouse or for their loved one, which is in their means to do. What people don't know is the things we've walked through, things that are private, whether it's our health or things, because life is not promised.
True.
Right.
No.
I'm not getting up out of this life without giving her the best that I can, not just externally, but also internally. So that was something I wanted to do.
The only reason that this is an issue is because you have pastor in front of your name.
Exactly.
Right. And they forget that you are a man and a husband as well.
Right,
Just out of curiosity, like, what are you listening to when you're whipping a $200,000 Lamborghini? Because you can't just listen to regular slow music.
Yes, you can. The same thing you're listening to in that BMW that I had when we first met.
Exactly.
So Gucci Man it is.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.